wanted to be taxed. I used all my charm and good sense to get the English to repeal the taxes, get rid of them. Alas, I was not successful.
Thomas Jefferson, you may speak now.
The sales tax was unfair. We were taxed on everything, from lead to glass and paint and tea.
Tea?
Yes, tea, and even a marriage license.
Oh my God! Somewhere in my shop, all my customers complained about how unfair these taxes were. Please raise your hand the next time you wish to be heard, Mr. Revere. Mr. Thomas Paine, your turn to speak. The important thing to remember, my fellow Americans, is that we were taxed and are now being taxed without our consent. Our rights are being taken away.
Yeah.
We should obey the king. We must pay our taxes because we are all British subjects.
We are all Englishmen who happen to be living on American soil. King George is our ruler. He decides what is best for us.
Nay! Down with the king! To the king! Long live King George! Use your gavel, Mr. Adams! Order, order! Mr. Thomas Paine.
Are we sheep? We had been making our own laws, deciding what was best for us. Then England got into debt, owed all that money because of their wars. King George looked across the ocean and said, let's tax the Americans to pay for our wars.
Mr. John Hancock.
That's exactly what he did. He imposed the stamp tax on us. Should we obey bad laws?
No, that's why we boycotted English products. We didn't buy English goods. We picketed. We protested. We demonstrated. So the English repealed the tax. You were hurting our English goods by not buying the product. It's perfectly understandable. We're all English, you know.
Mr. George Washington.
It was not long before we were taxed again. I could afford it, but that wasn't the point. England had no right to tax us without our representation.
We were so angry, we wrote letters to all the colonies asking them to help get rid of the taxes. So what happened? British troops were sent to Boston to keep law and order.
That was a terrible time. One cold day, there was snow on the ground. My son and some friends gathered around the soldiers. Some say they threw snowballs at the soldiers. The soldiers were young and frightened. They fired into the crowd. My son and 4 of the young men were killed. They were massacred.
It wasn't a massacre. Those soldiers were there to protect law-abiding citizens like myself. Those men were rowdies, up to no good. They were Order, order! Let's get on with the meeting.
So once again, the English repealed the taxes, all except the tax on tea.
Mr. George, Mr. Patrick Henry.
Well, the Sons of Liberty were furious. One night, dressed up as Indians, they boarded a ship in Boston Harbor and dumped its cargo of tea into the sea.
All the colonies heard about it, even in Virginia where I live. How the English governor closed the port to punish Boston. No ships could enter or leave.
That was an unlawful thing to do. That was an act of civil disobedience. We were willing to pay for the tea.
You are an agitator and a troublemaker, Mr. Samuel Adams, because upon this close, we suffered hardship.
That's the price we pay for wanting freedom, madam. These are the times that try men's souls.
And last but not least, you all know about my famous ride. One night, I rode to Lexington and Concord to warn the Minutemen that the British were coming. They wanted to find and arrest Mr. Adams and destroy our ammunition. A battle took place and many men were killed on both sides.
Give me liberty or give me death.
Your turn. Hooray! Traitors! Freedom! Death to the traitors! I have written a document called the Declaration of Independence. It says that all men are created equal, that we are born with certain rights, and that no one can take these rights away, not even the King of England. These rights are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And may I add, if the government does not protect these rights, the people have a right to change their government.
Those of us who wish to become a free and independent people will sign that document.
Meeting is adjourned.